What is going on, everybody? Welcome to FSD version 13.2 downtown stress test. I parked this in a pretty difficult spot here to get this started off, so if you look back there, oh man, there was a car parked there, but it's probably hard to tell from the cameras. We don't have a whole ton of room to back up. There's a lot of pedestrians that are walking by, so I'm going to get us started as I kind of intro this video. So if you don't know, in the new FSD version 13, I do not have to put the car into park or, I don't have to put it into drive or reverse or park anymore. I can simply set my destination and hold this blue Start FSD Supervise button. I will say a few times I've hopped in the car and this is not working. It says autopilot unavailable and I can't press this button. But once I put it into drive myself and start driving, I can immediately turn on FSD. Also, I found if I go into drive and then park without moving, sometimes that'll bring the button back. Just wanted to throw that out there. Not a big deal. But there you go. Now the car is in full control. It has put itself into drive, which is obviously not correct. So we're already seeing, okay, and it switches to reverse. So there you go. It intelligently figured out that it could not go forward, thankfully, and it put itself into reverse. So no big deal there. So I'm going to attempt to let the car do everything down here, but I'm going through some tight areas and stuff to challenge it. That's kind of the point of this drive. So a little close to that car, in my opinion, and there you go. So there is a bunch of stuff over there to our left. Let me pull this up real quick for you. You can see like those bins and stuff on the ground in that left repeater camera. I believe that's why it pulled forward a little bit and kind of did that multi-point turn there. It was kind of necessary. But it's nicely getting out of this little parking lot area, which even for me pulling into this parking lot, it's almost a little concerning because it's like you're driving on the sidewalk. It's what you're supposed to do, but it doesn't look correct. So there's been a lot going on with version 13. Let's see if we can not get stuck here. Wow, it looks like they made this even thinner now. This is somewhere FSD has had a problem with for a long time. There you go. It nicely, smoothly makes it out of there. And I've learned a lot using this. I've been using this a lot. I've done a lot of driving the past few days. I probably have a few hundred miles on version 13 now. And oh my goodness, is this thing as smooth as ever. One of the things I'll really point out is braking and all of that is just about perfect. I've been kind of talking lately in the version 12.5.6 that braking in the Model Y, it's worse in the Cybertruck, but we're just going to stick to Model Y for this video. Braking has been pretty late lately. So FSD 12.5.6 in the Model Y would kind of come up hot to whatever it needed to stop for. And it would always stop, of course, and even the braking when it did eventually brake was smooth enough, but it like really got up to wherever it was going and then kind of quickly braked at the end. And it wasn't the most comfortable. And that is like completely 100% fixed. And, you know, sometimes you guys in the comments kind of come at me a little bit, which is all good, you know, keep the comments flowing. But you'll kind of mention like, yo, you're being a little too picky about this. Like nobody cares about that, blah, blah, blah. But the reason I'm so picky and so detailed when I'm talking about something, even though that's such a small thing, and it may even be somewhat personal preference, I point those things out because now I can go back and say like, look, this was happening and it was kind of crap. And now it's not happening in that way. And that's like one of the biggest things we're seeing, I'm noticing with version 13 is just the smoothness all around. The lack of hesitancy will get a stop at a stop sign or a stoplight, like a right turn on a red light. It'll stop, it'll kind of hang out for a second, and then it'll pull forward. If there's no one there, it just glides right through. If there are vehicles coming, we have to wait for them. It'll just kind of park itself there. And then as soon as it's clear or about to be clear, it starts pulling out, boom. The different settings, man, there's so much to talk about with version 13. I'm planning like a full review so I can actually really sit down and talk about all the features and how they're working and stuff. But the different settings, which we're not seeing here, so it seems if you're below 35 miles an hour, you're still not getting the chill, standard, and hurry, so you can see there. I'm going to keep this in standard. I don't think it matters when it's not shown in the top left of the screen here. You can see here if I use my right scroll wheel, it's not actually changing those settings unless it's displayed. But man, hurry is definitely a speed demon for anybody that is unhappy with FSD because it drives too slow. Once you get this and you turn hurry on, you're going to be very happy. So really nice job moving around that vehicle. We did have a lead car for us. So we do have a little bit of busyness here in downtown, which is good to see. Kind of coming down here again because it's a little busier. We have some pedestrians and lots of parked cars and stuff. But man, there's so much to talk to you about. I've probably thrown the release notes up again already because there's so much different that's kind of been added here. So we'll wait for these pedestrians. Man, I love how we're continuing to move through here. That's what you got to do in a downtown so you don't get stuck. There's so much new in the release notes, but at the same time, even though this feels really good, and I've there's so much to talk about. There's a whole list, almost just as many things of what's new in version 13. There's a secondary list of just as many things of these are coming still. So there's still a lot to add. I've shown in videos and I've talked about, like, especially my first drive, I was like, oh, it's not really parking us in a parking spot. It's just kind of parking somewhere. And that's coming in a future update in version 13 is garages, like picking a parking spot, getting that more down pat. But sometimes, which maybe we'll see in this video, I'm not sure, but look at some of my old videos, sometimes it will find a parking spot. Let's see, this is a no turn on red. This is something that hasn't been working very well lately. Yep, so it's still not supported. This is a no turn on red. That's crazy. That's crazy. We're on version 13. It still can't even do a simple no turn on red. So there's a disengagement for you on version 13, which are exceedingly rare. And safety disengagements, I don't think I've had a single one yet. Man, I'm all over the place. But there's just so much. So yeah, there's a lot of new stuff. On top of that, disengagements, interventions have been really low. I've had a few, I've had multiple trips now that are 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 45 minutes, where I just sit there and the car really does everything. And my biggest issue I'm finding, I'm loving this assertiveness, showing that we're going to turn here. We got the right of way. My biggest issue that I am now coming across in terms of getting a zero intervention drive is just myself. And it's not that the car's even doing anything wrong, or the car's not going too slow, the car's not getting in people's way, it's not being annoying, but it's just something about sitting here and still being the supervisor, because this is not actually an autonomous vehicle and you're still in control and all that. I have this urge to, when we're driving for a while and the car's done everything for so long, I'm kind of like, oh, I think I want to just do it for a second. I don't know what that's about. It's some kind of, feels like some kind of human nature where I'm like, well, I'm sitting here anyway, I might as well control it. But if I can kind of get over myself and be okay with the car going, 1 mile per hour different than I do, it really can do all your driving. It doesn't have to. It's still, an option, obviously. But the capability is there for this thing to really do all your driving. Now, if you want to follow the laws to a T, as you can see in the last example, it doesn't always do that. It speeds like crazy, especially in the hurry mode, like I was talking about. It will go way, way, way over the speed limit. I think in the hurry mode, though, that's okay for 2 reasons. Number one, it's literally called hurry, and you have to set that mode, showing that you want it to go a little faster. And number two, you have complete control over, I'll show you with the right scroll wheel, the max speed. So right now the max speed's 35, and if the car was going 35 and I didn't like it, I could simply go boop. Now the fastest it can go, it has to obey that, the fastest it could go is 30. I'm gonna leave that alone so it can kind of do its thing and we can watch it. But you have really good, really fine control. That's good. Yep, getting out of the way here. Really good, really fine control over the way the car drives. If you don't like it speeding, you can put it into chill. But I will say I found even in chill and standard settings, it will still speed. So the biggest offenses for me are in the lower speed zones. Now, we're not seeing it here in the downtown area because it's pretty crowded. You don't have a whole lot of room to speed. But if you're in a more open area and the speed limit's like 25 or 35, the car will go way over that, even in the chill setting, which I don't really appreciate. But let's just get this out of here too. We don't need that. We'll go a little farther. We're still gonna, oh no, we're gonna now go straight. So let's see how it handles with me messing with the route here. We'll let that update. I'm not gonna do anything. It can turn left here, it doesn't really matter. But the route did update to go straight, so we'll see how it reacts with that. So overall, I've been crazy happy with this version, and I am looking for your kind of feedback and suggestions and what you'd like to see. A lot of people are asking for the object avoidance test again. That's coming. That's kind of harder for me to do. I have to find a little extra time for that. So is it going to continue with this left turn and ignore the nav? Yes, it is. It doesn't really matter. That's fine. So yeah, let me know what you're thinking about, what you want to do, or what you want to see, I should say. Man, it's just so smooth. I cannot overemphasize. It really feels like a good human driver. A good, cautious, aware human driver. That's what this version is feeling like. This video is brought to you by Joa, maker of premium Tesla and vehicle accessories. Claim your discount by using the link in the description below. All right, so on this one, we can turn right on red. You'll see that will most likely get our stop to 0. Usually waits for a second and then begins to creep up. There is one vehicle coming from that direction. So now that it's clear, it's starting to creep up. Oh, and that guy started running towards us. That was funny. The car did not care, though, which I think was appropriate. We were already kind of doing our thing there. And again, you can kind of look at everything and pause the video. I don't know if he had a walk symbol or not. I honestly didn't see because I was looking at some of the other traffic moving. All right, back to this crowded intersection. No turn on red. That person basically ran a red light. The pickup in front of us, he was already in the intersection, so he kind of had to finish that move. And we'll see if FSD tries to turn right on this red as well, because this is another no turn on red. Maybe the pedestrians are saving us here, but the car doesn't even seem to want to inch up, which is good. I don't know. In downtown Ann Arbor, and other places, I found sometimes it correctly does the no turn on red. Other times it doesn't. I haven't really found any consistency there. So we're getting ready to cross here. The pedestrians do have a walk symbol. The car really nicely waits for them. We got a dude to the right. Oh man, sorry, my roof cam didn't have SD card in it. A guy to the right on the sidewalk kind of did this thing. And as soon as he did it, FSD moved forward. You know, was it because he did that? There's no way I could prove that. But the timing was pretty much perfect. So waiting for these pedestrians. He should just go. He has the walk symbol. There you go. But he's being safe, which is good. You never know if I'm a dummy texting or don't see him and gonna run him over. That's always a tough blind spot for me when I'm like turning right and somebody's coming up from that side. I've noticed multiple times where FSD stops for people there that I don't initially see. So that's one of the huge advantages for FSD in monitoring pedestrians. And then this crosswalk, I don't know if we're on winter break yet or not. So, you know, this crosswalk is usually pretty busy, but it seems like there's not a whole ton of people down here right now. Man, look at this slow roll. Jeez, dude, it could not have been any better. It slowed down. It's like already like, oh, are there pedestrians here? It didn't stop. It didn't get all jerky and slow down, speed up, slow down, speed up. And then it saw no pedestrians and just rolled right through. It couldn't have been better. It could not have been better. So again, we got one pedestrian we'll wait for. It's our right of way. Oh yeah, as soon as it's safe to proceed, we get moving here. My goodness, my goodness. All right, we'll take this intersection. So last time we were here, that was under construction and it was a one-way street coming towards us. It opened up and the nav basically didn't update. So the car didn't know that it could go straight and now it does. Look at this. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my goodness. Come on. Oh man. Just can't get any better. It just can't. That's what you got to do. You got to start rolling it, wait for those pedestrians to cross and keep rolling. We'll stop here. I don't think there's going to be any parking up there. I'll just leave it. Let's see what it does. Hopefully I won't park in the street, but we're learning. Nice complete stop and then go. I mean, there's nobody in our way. It's so nice. So it's going to look for a parking spot here. It looks like it's all full. Nobody's behind me for now, so I can let it play around. And again, the parking, like the full parking abilities of version 13 are not here yet. So keep that in mind. So it did park right in the street. So we're just going to press and hold to continue. So I haven't done anything. The car puts itself back into drive and it continues here. So for the implementation we have, not a big deal. Obviously, there's still going to be a human here. And hopefully in those future version 13 updates, we'll get something a little nicer so that it can find parking. But in that scenario, I mean, there's no parking spots. So I'm not sure exactly what you would want the car to do. I guess it would go around the block here and like park right there. Or that's no parking. Park right here, wherever, you know what I'm saying. All right, very nice. This is something we haven't done in a while. And I actually didn't do this on purpose, but I'm happy to do it. Got a few stop signs in a row here that usually have a little traffic. And the car used to do really bad here, so I'd always take it through here because it would just struggle so much at these four-way stops. But it's been good for a long time. I mean, I want to say even version 11 was doing these stop signs fine. But always good to go back to the old spots and make sure we have no regressions. That's a huge thing. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. I haven't noticed a single regression with this. It still does some things wrong, of course. And it's still, like you saw, try to turn right on a no, turn on red. And it'll speed, like I said, but those aren't regressions. Those are things that was all messing up already. I haven't seen any new problems, which is pretty rare. I'm not going to say it's never happened, but for a new FSD update, especially a full point release, it's pretty rare for you to not encounter any new bugs that are like really annoying, or we can speculate like, oh, that's why Tesla's not rolling it out because this is happening. Like I haven't seen anything like that, which is just awesome. You can usually pick those out in like 1 or 2 drives. Oh man, that was pretty red. I'm gonna report that one. I definitely would have stopped there. I'm very surprised that FSD didn't stop for that one. Alrighty, so we need to make an unprotected left here, which should be no problem. And then, to finish the video off, I've added a parking garage I know of that is free. I mean, it's not really, but we can go in without paying. Just to kind of test out parking garages because some people asked. So really nice. Yeah, I've seen that a few times where it starts to go and then kind of second guesses itself, like delays itself a little bit before it fully commits to the move. It's never been a problem, but I've noticed it do that a few times. I think even in this single trip. But anyway, so I made it here. I mean, so far I disengaged the one time for it trying to turn at that turn on red. And I'm going to leave it. I'm going to try to fast forward through all this. Unless something crazy happens, I'm just going to let it roll until we get to our final destination, so this doesn't take too long. And we'll try out a parking garage and just kind of see what it does. The one other thing I'll mention, damn, that was good. It just waited for that guy. It thought he was going to keep going, but I didn't even see him to the right. And I was like, why aren't you going? And it's like, oh, there's somebody coming that I didn't see because of my A-pillar was blinding me. So something I've noticed that I meant to mention. So you saw at the last destination it parked in the road. I did try, instead of putting a pin to the location, somebody suggested put a pin in the parking lot, and I did that, and the car drove directly to the pin. And because the pin was right next to a bunch of parking spots, it then did park in a parking spot. It did a pretty crappy job because it did nose in first and it wasn't centered in the spot, but it did it. So that's a little hack for version 13. If you want it to actually park in a parking spot, put the pin where there's parking. Whoa, buddy. Okay, that was weird. I'm gonna guess, or I had to reset the screen. That's what that was about. I'm gonna guess that was because those guys were blocking the road, and FSD thought we were blocked. I'm just trying to think what to think about that. I think technically we ran a red light, so that was bad. But at the same time, it looked like we were stuck on a green light, so it's kind of like, let me get out of here. Obviously, it was safe in terms of no traffic was coming. I don't know, y'all. Tell me what you think down in the comments. That was something. Alrighty, so here we are. First, we're going into the parking lot because I just picked the destination. I tried to put a pin on the parking garage, but the car had the pin out in the street when I did that. So let's see if what I showed you earlier, how it will pick a parking spot, remains true here. Again, I found that if it backs into the parking spot, the parking job is phenomenal. If it pulls into the parking spot, it's pretty crap, but that is not technically a supported feature yet. So, nope, this time it's just going to park. Oh, okay. It confuses me. This is what it does. So I don't know. Let's just watch and see what it does here. We're learning what this AI is thinking about. There you go. So it's done. We will, no, don't end trip. So if I go here, well, let's see if I do this. Okay, so it's in there. Let's just start this up again and see if it'll go into the parking garage. I don't know. But the pin is inside of the parking garage right now. It's got me hopeful. This guy's coming here. It's pretty thin. I'm going to move over for him. Nice. Very nicely handled. A little slow. This is where, everybody wants the headlight cameras facing this way. because the B-pillar cameras ain't cutting it for some of these maneuvers. I still believe that. I still believe that. Even though the car does pretty much drive around all over the place, there's just a few of these scenarios. You know, even if it's only every other day or once a week, where those headlight cameras would just be it. All right, so let's see if it pulls into the parking garage for us here. I don't think I need a pass or anything for this one. I'll just get a ticket if they see me parked in here. Oh yeah, baby. Here we go. Ooh, that is tight. We're gonna curb? Nope, we're not. Let's go. All right, so it's gonna park right there. All right, we got a random destination in here. Let's see what we can do. I parked. I'm gonna hold, put us into FSD. We're gonna see if FSD version 13 can get out of a parking garage or if it will loop around or get stuck or whatever it does. So I'm pretty happy with the behavior we saw so far. With, entering the parking garage was awesome. And it did not park for us, but again, that's coming in a future update according to the release notes. So since it's not an advertised feature, I'm not really bothered by that. So far, it's getting out of here correctly. So this is kind of crazy. We got a confused human, I suppose. I don't know what they're doing. We're going towards the exit. Oh, they're waving me along. I'm just going to ignore it. We'll see if FSD will go around them. There we go. Nice and slow. There you go. He's getting frustrated with me. Nice. Good job, FSD. It made it to the exit. What the heck? I guess let's not talk too soon, but there it is. It's going in the exit. That's no exit. It's going in the exit only. Nice and slow, doing this very carefully. A little too carefully now. There, now it's committed. Holy crap. Let's do it one more time. Let's do it one more time. All right, not only are we on the roof, not only is there snow covering the roof of the parking garage, I'm driving in a couple circles to confuse the AI. Maybe that's crazy, but why not? Why not? Let's park it right up against this wall here so it has to back out. We'll see if it can handle it. We're really pushing it now because it keeps doing everything. All right, we'll park it. We have the same destination. I didn't change that. It went into drive like we saw earlier. Switches to reverse. There you go. Can it escape? How does it know what to do? How does it know this is where to go? This is crazy. Doesn't care about snow, doesn't care about being on the third floor. It just cares about exiting. Insanity. Unbelievable. It found the exit once again, and not only did it do it, we're gonna pass this guy again, it did it really, really well. This is craziness. Awesome. Let's just confirm that it's gonna exit here. I'm gonna wait for this pedestrian to get up on the sidewalk. Holy moly, exit's even better than the first time. We're still waiting for this pedestrian. She is going. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Well, here's the stats. That was a long time. Hope you enjoyed. You'll see me in the next video.